Good evening, everyone. It's 5:31. We're going to call this meeting to order. Welcome to our December 3rd North Greenwood Citizens Advisory Committee meeting. My name is Bernard Robinson. I am the committee chair. I will ask that you all silence your phones, please. We're going to start with introductions to my left.
Hi, my name is Anna Menard, and I am the owner of Mr. Waterford.
Awesome. Thank you.
Marilyn Turman, I'm Vice Chair. I'm also with the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So going to our first order of business is the approval of the minutes from last meeting. Can I please have a motion to accept?
Yes, I just want to make one notation about it though. Regarding the, getting just involved, let me point to it so you don't know. And do what pages and on, so I can make mention of that.
That's under 4.3, but there's the page number.
Okay,
That's the
got it.
second page.
I see it. Yeah, it was regarding the budget that was submitted, and there were some concerns about how much advance notice we got on that.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say that after, with further clarification with our chair, that we were okay with that. We know that it was since approved by the trustees. So just wanted to make that notation. So, okay. Thank you. So with that being said, I will make a motion to approve.
Awesome. Thank you. So the motion to accept came from Marilyn Turman. Can I have a second? Please. The motion's been properly moved and seconded by Anna Menard. Is there any discussion that we need? Nope. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Thank you. Approval of previous meeting minutes. So let's go back to our agenda. The third item on the agenda is citizens to be heard regarding items not on the agenda. So this is an opportunity for anyone here to speak up and say something. I may ask that you properly introduce yourself as you let us know what's on your mind.
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Barbara Soredov, and I am the president of the Clearwater African American Foundation. This is my first meeting, and this is my first meeting, and I have questions about the historic preservation of landmarks and spaces here in the North Greenwood area, and I want to know if those have been addressed. That's my question.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your question. So to date, they have not been discussed, but that is something that we can definitely be sure to add to our agenda. So if there are particular points that you would like for us to discuss, and would she submit that to you for the agenda?
Yes,
Okay.
you can send that to me, and then we can talk with the chair, getting it on the next meeting agenda.
Now, do I submit it to you tonight or in an email?
In an email.
Okay.
Yes, I will need a comment card from you for tonight.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Does that answer your question? You good?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other items to be brought forward? Okay. Thank you very much. Seeing none, we will move on to the next item of our agenda. So under new business, we are going to appoint new officers for the committee for this year. So the first one we are going to go for is
Chair.
for the chair. Boom. So we're going up here.
Board members and local items, just for the record. So what you have before you are ballots to select members for the chair, for the position of chair. I would like to just briefly read the description. It is in the CAC policies, but just for the record to describe the position of chair for the committee. The chair shall have the authority to decide points of order and will run all agenda items. Any ruling by the chair may be reserved by a majority vote of the CAC. The chair shall preserve order and may call to order any member who violates any of the rules. They shall decide all questions of order subject to a majority vote on a motion to appeal. The chair shall recognize all members who speak the floor under the current procedure, and they shall not make or second a motion. The chair shall maintain an effective working relationship with the CRA director, designated liaison, or representation. The chair shall guide the CAC in its advisement of the community needs consistent with the North Greenwood CRA plan and state law to the CRA director, designate the CRA trustees, and the city. From time to time, the chair or the CAC approved designee shall be required to report updates to the CRA trustees and or city council. Are there any questions? No. Okay, so if you could please make on your ballot, just one ballot for your vote for position of chair for the North Greenwood Citizens Advisory Committee. This will be for the 2026 year. And then we will have staff. Yep. Yep. Okay, we have vote. So the position for chair for the 2026 year will be Kennard Robinson.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
All right, so moving on to the vice chair position.
Correct.
We have
This one's a lot shorter.
Okay.
So the vice chair will serve in the absence of the chair. Should the chair be unable to attend any meeting or need to recuse themselves from any vote that comes before the CAC, the vice chair will serve in that position. So there are ballots in front of you. Again, if you could please make one vote, and then staff will collect votes.
Bob.
Two. Yeah.
Okay, position of vice chair has been appointed to, for the 2026 year, to Ms. Marilyn Turbin.
Congratulations.
Awesome, Scott. Congratulations. Awesome. Well, thank you all very much. Definitely looking forward to another phenomenal year, helping you move our team forward. So moving on to the next point on our agenda is provide recommendation for negotiation of funding requests for 1105 Crawford Street. So do we have?
Yes, we have Dylan May here. He is the city's housing manager. Will provide an update on this item. The board.
Oh, take this. Great.
Yes, I'm Dylan Mayhew. I'm the housing manager. I'll give a brief update on negotiations, but first I'll kind of give a little bit of history. In October of 2023, the Community Redevelopment Agency purchased 1105 Carlton. That's the parcels on the southeast corner of MLK and Carlton Street for $350,000. While the purchase price exceeded the independent appraised value, the acquisition was made as a proactive strategic investment to support redevelopment within the MLK corridor and encourage catalytic private investment in the area. Following the acquisition, the CRA released a request for letters of interest to solicit proposals for the redevelopment of the existing mixed-use building located at 1105 Carlton Street. This structure is approximately 2,440 square feet. It is in need of substantial rehabilitation. The CRA's preference in the solicitation included proposals that would preserve the existing building, incorporate mixed-use elements, and then also provide income-restricted units. The CRA received one response, those submitted by Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing Services. The CRA previously budgeted $500,000 for this project, and council authorized staff to enter into negotiations with TBNHS. After a period of review, TBNHS has now provided an updated development package, that's what you have there, and that amount does exceed the originally budgeted level. Given these revisions and this revised financial projection, the potential for this project to serve as a transformational investment, staff is requesting guidance from you all on how to proceed. Specifically, we are seeking direction on whether the board would prefer to do one of the following: support the project at the revised funding level, or recommend a different level of CRA participation if the current funding request is not acceptable. In summary, staff believes the proposed project has strong potential to create positive neighborhood change and aligns with the CRA's vision for the corridor. However, because the project now requires higher investment than originally anticipated, staff is requesting your input. With that, I do have developer Craig Cornier with Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing Services. I'd be happy to address questions.
So just to be sure that we're all understanding, so you said that the original approval was for $500,000, right? And now we're looking at 1.345.
The original amount from the CRA was budgeted at $500,000. The CRA's contribution would be $701,852.
That's not on here, right?
It's not. It's in the agenda item. Their original proposal had the city bringing more funds. However, because we're using federal funds, we have to abide by HUD's guidelines. And so the max for us at the city is $468,348. That's for the 2 units upstairs. If you subtract that off the city side and add it to the CRA side, that puts the CRA side in $701,852. So essentially, to progress with what they've proposed, we'd be looking at an additional $200,000 from CRA.
Thank you, with Mr. Cornier doing the presentation today.
Frank, did you want to say in words or?
Sure. Fred Cornier, Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing Services.
Or sorry. Yeah.
Fred Cornier, Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing Services. Thank you for the opportunity to be you for you today. We've been in this neighborhood, in this area, serving North Greenwood and South Greenwood since 1979. We are part of a national affiliation to the organization by the name of NeighborWorks America, which invests in communities in Greenwood, South Greenwood. We're involved with community economic development, affordable housing, and helping families get out of poverty and increase their wealth, their family wealth. We had the opportunity to prepare a proposal for this property. We're not unfamiliar with this type of work. We've been doing this work for many years. We recently rehabbed our office at 608 North Greenwood. It's a full rehab. This project is a lot more extensive. It's 2 stories. It's also filled with structural issues that we didn't have at our office. It would have been less costly to demolish this building and build something new, but we understand that the residents of this neighborhood wanted to keep that building because of its historic value and nature, and because we don't want North Greenwood or North MLK to look like a war zone with a bunch of vacant, lots where properties once stood. So we put a proposal together. The original report on this back in 2023 was that it was going to cost a little over $1 million. We know that the cost of everything is shot up since then. It's been a couple of years, and by the time we actually get to do this, it may go up a little bit as well. Our numbers are based on estimates from our design professionals, but we feel that we can keep the numbers where they are and get the numbers to work with some value engineering. But we think we can make the project work. We are proposing to keep the first floor as working space. We have a potential tenant that has expressed interest in renting that space for office space, and then the upstairs would house 2 one-bedroom apartments. We know that there's a shortage of smaller units in North Greenwood. Actually, Pinellas County as a whole, smaller units are harder to come by. So we build quite a bit of 3-bedroom colleges, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, full garage. We probably built most of them in this neighborhood recently, but there is a shortage of smaller units. So they're proposing to build 2 one-bedroom units. And our design concept would incorporate, what we would like to do is incorporate a balcony on the front of those units fronting onto North Martin Luther King. It wouldn't be a huge balcony, but it would be big enough so that it gives it a design element and gives it some trajectory on the front so it's hard to scuff. So you don't have any questions for me?
Well, Frank, could you maybe speak to just your vision, or I guess a little bit more in depth of how the redevelopment doesn't just fit with the community from a visual perspective, right? But maybe more of an investment.
Yeah, this project would, in my eyes, in our eyes, would be a catalyst. It would be a shot in the arm. I don't know that there's been any new commercial space, and the city will probably correct me on this, as well as the residents. There probably hasn't been anything new that's been built commercially in that area for quite a long time. We know that it is a large amount of money to put into a building, but we also know that the private market has money left. Sometimes it takes a project like this to catalyze, to get things started in a neighborhood. So this investment would help start that, would help jumpstart the redevelopment process in this neighborhood. We have other land that we own. We know that the CAC has some space they're looking to develop, container product as well. So this would add to that, and it would just complement everything else. We looked at the charrette that was done a few years ago and incorporated some of the concepts of that. And again, this will be a catalyst in this neighborhood, and it needs, because we know for many, many years, residents have been hearing, we got your back, we put money into this, but nothing's been done. So I think that this will help be a shot in the arm and say, we're committed to doing this, and spark other investment in the whole year.
I have a question. To confirm, is that address 608?
Just a moment. Well, we can open it up to the floor for questions in a bit. First, does anyone on the committee have any questions?
You said you had somebody interested in the commercial space already?
Yes.
What kind of business is
It's an
interested?
nonprofit organization.
Nonprofit, okay.
Any questions? No, fine. Okay, I do have a particular question, and this isn't necessarily directly towards Frank, maybe an ethic music, but I see here we have the rental property analysis and operating budget. So how does this play a role in this body's decision making? Like, are you just showing us this is the potential for it when it's finished?
Well,
Are some of these dollars coming back to the CRA?
Yes, this is the, so typically there's a development budget and then there's an operating budget. So when you're evaluating whether something is going to be feasible, you definitely look at the development budget and see if the sources and uses, offset each other, if they're covered. But you also want to make sure that you're putting money into a building that is not going to come back and say, we need more money because we can't operate, we're operating in the red. So this is to show that that after collecting the rent is enough to support the first mortgage that'll be on there, and still have, I think, a positive cash flow of about $300. But we also, also take into consideration that this is going to be one of the first commercial spaces.
And, you know, and it's a small property, it's only 3 units. So one vacancy and one of the units can disrupt the budget. So there's a little need for that in the budget. Okay, so to put it simply, once we were to approve this, if we do approve this, they're saying that development starts, the project is finished, the way that the numbers are worked out on the rental property side will be enough to continue to fund the building and make sure everything is going the way that it needs to go. So therefore, technically speaking, if everything goes well, you wouldn't need any more money from the CRA because the building is funding itself. That's for essential. That's right. Okay, I just wanted to be sure that everyone was aware of that detail. Okay, any other thoughts, questions?
Sorry to dive deeper on the nonprofit question, but like, you know, that could mean various things. Like, is it to help the community? Is it like a food shelter? You know, what kind of nonprofit is business?
It's community development.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit that's already serving the community.
Okay, gotcha.
They were already serving the community. They want to move closer to
That's great.
and be in here.
Okay, perfect.
So I do have one question. How many square feet is the condo space?
900 square feet. The building is a total of 1,800 square feet, 900 square feet each floor. Cheryl, if you have a question.
I did, just one quick on, it was the 175, that was, because I'm just seeing this one, we just received this tonight, so I didn't, yes, I could smell it. The 175 additional is what we're adding to it.
No, that would be the first.
The 500.
That would be, what's maybe older. So the original budget was 500,000 for the CRA. That is, that's now 7.
It'll be at 701. The budget for the CRA as proposed would be 701,852.
Okay.
Yeah.
What page are you looking at?
Right here.
Okay, okay.
That
Thank you,
number-
that's what I need to know, what you're
Okay,
looking,
yeah.
because, yeah.
That number is on the agenda item, it's not in that package. So
Okay.
that's his
Okay.
submission.
I got you,
So he
okay.
submitted with the city, the housing department, putting in more money, but we're restricted by a per unit maximum subsidy. And so that subsidy is 468, 348. So if you adjust the housing, the city side and the CRA side accordingly, then that brings the CRA side up to 200,000, 201,000.
Okay. So, but we don't have to put this out for rebid or anything like that because of the change that we're asking. Okay.
Let's face it, being on like the director, if I may.
Yes.
So right now what we're doing is we brought it before you because like you mentioned, you know, we have $500,000 budgeted already for improvements to the building, plus the land of the building, all this other wonderful stuff. But because that 200,000 increase, then we're coming to you saying if is a wise investment for us to invest 200,000 more. So we can take it to the trustees for them to either approve or not.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Are there any other questions from the committee? All right, so we're gonna take a moment to open it up to the community for questions. Just a reminder, please be sure to fill out a comment card. Yeah, so are there any other?
You need to request a motion then second first, and then you can open it up to the community.
All right, thank you very much. So where we are right now, we need a motion to approve.
So just for clarity, this would be a motion to recommend the increase or what is being proposed, which would be for the additional $201,852 over the CRA amount that we have budgeted. By recommending approval, then staff will work to take this item forward to the CRA trustees to enter into negotiations. Just for clarity of what the motion is being asked for today's agenda item.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Since I'm your little stripes, I'd like to defer to you guys,
Okay.
you know, because you guys sound like you've had a little bit more history on this.
Yeah.
If I could.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we can
move forward with the recommendation.
Move forward with the recommendation, but I would not hear,
Other, that's you, second. Okay, yeah, can we
hear those, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely have time for more discussion.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Can I?
Okay, the motion's been properly moved and seconded. So now that we have that, we can open up the floor for any community questions or comments.
Do you have to give them the card first? I haven't finished.
No, you don't have to give the card first. We can, yeah.
Okay, the property that he's speaking of, 1105 Carlton, I think you mentioned something about the historic value of that area. Could you confirm that that is the old Robert Nichols, Greenwood, Sundricks? It is.
Hey, you were going to ask the question earlier. Think about the address. The address is not 1105. I think at one point it's listed at 105, but it's on the record as an Allen K address.
Okay, so once the property is built, what will be there to notate or indicate that it is a historical landmark? What's that address?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things I've asked for is to see if there's old photos of the building. So I reached out to the city's real estate department. I've reached out to some of the people community. I've reached out to the historical society. I've looked myself. I find photos down the street, but I don't find any specific photos of this building. I would love to find a photo of this building. I would love to showcase that in the building, and I would love to see if there's elements of that old building that we can incorporate into the renovation. I haven't come across that.
Has anyone thought to reach out to the family, the surviving family members?
Not yet. That hasn't been a recommendation, but I would love whatever recommendation or whatever context the community has, because again, we would love to be incorporating photos or see if there's design elements that we can incorporate into the renovation to the design.
I did not think fill out a comment card, but I can certainly speak to that because for 2 years we worked with the family to get the property purchased by the city, so that it did not have to compete with the developer for the project we're planning on that same space. So I did reach out to the family, contact to see if they in fact had any memorabilia, photos or whatever, and they're in the process of trying to locate that. And after a lot of comment.
Process in the
Awesome, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. You said that the downstairs is a business that's already in the community that wants to relocate. So, are you limited to say how that business helps the community? Or now, and you're not, it's a name, you said you're already in the community. So I guess my question is,
they're already in this meeting, and they're in this meeting as well. It's the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition. I didn't want to say that, they gave me permission to go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
As far as with them, the benefit.
Yeah.
How can the community benefit?
Are you familiar with the work that the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition does?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they would be the guys.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, so yes, Jesus.
There might be a point of order, so you might have to recuse yourself. I'm not sure if there's a conflict there because of the entity that's going into typically to the first floor. You will still have 3 individuals here to vote.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
No. Because Kennard would have to recuse himself because he's a part of the Tampa Bay Neighborhood Coalition, Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing Services. And Ms. Turman would have to recuse herself as well for being a member of the coalition, which means that I wouldn't have enough to make a vote for this item.
It seems like we, it's most likely have a consensus in forward.
Yeah. So we have consensus. We can take it forward to the CRA trustees, but we wouldn't have enough members to make a vote on this. Correct.
Okay, so at this point, does that end our conversation essentially.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Frank. Thank you. All right. So our next agenda item, the presentation of North Greenwood Overlay District update.
This is Lauren Maskey. She's the city's planning and development director. She'll be providing updates on the North Greenwood Overlay District.
In the end, our maps will look better, but just got it done real quick. Engineering staff. Thank you. Taken from the CRE.
Thank you.
Have a few extras of people pass around the wood, but I mean, it's so fun. Big stair bathroom. Okay, sure. If I'm going to say what I'm probably not.
So, hi, good evening, Lauren Maskey. I'm Director for Planning and Development. When we started this project, I was not Director of the Planning and Development Department. I was Assistant Director, and we had several other people involved at the time. So, it's been a little while since I've been able to catch up with everyone, and unfortunately, due to storms last year and some other things going on in our department, the work that we were doing was placed on hold for a little while. And so I guess I should start with what is the work, because not everyone in this room or even on the board has been involved with that. So our department worked on the CRA plan, which was adopted, and everything got established. And one of the next implementation pieces of that was to develop new zoning standards for the properties in the North Greenwood CRA that are not part of already the downtown zoning district. So that's what's loosely shown on this map. This area down here is in the CRA. This corner down here, it's in the CRA, but it's already governed by our downtown zoning district. So it would not be part of this. We had worked through some of that with the community, and for those who participated, it was just after Labor Day last year that we had a really great meeting where we got to play with the model houses and buildings and map out sample blocks and really kind of make sure that we were aware of the vision and we were really working towards achieving that vision of, you know, any new development in the North Greenwood area. What's unique is you have great lot structure, you have some bones still here, and most of what, you know, the community voiced to us that we've heard was, you know, really some pieces that, you know, really some infill pieces, some residential within the residential. The term gets used sometimes, missing middle housing. It's the, you know, single family homes, duplexes, triplexes, townhouses that still kind of smaller in scale to really match and fit in with the existing fabric of the community. Along Martin Luther King, it was, you know, it's better enabling the mixes of uses, more of a historic main street. And then we have kind of some of the other areas that, you know, are part of the CRA, but and part of North Greenwood, but kind of broader or further out from the core of it, I would say, and it's got a slightly different character, but overall it's primarily residential with some opportunity for some commercial or infill there. So that is unfortunately where we left off at the time, because, you know, fast forward a couple of weeks later, we had a few hurricanes. So we've regrouped as a team. We've been working on what the regulations are, right? So what do we need to put in our community development code so that when new development happens, it actually matches what we've heard from the residents that they want. It's kind of a bureaucratic process once it gets to this part. This is where the sausage gets made, because we're writing all sorts of things like buildings must be setback only this, or they can only be this tall, or they have to have porches, or things like that. I'll speak to it at a higher level. The goal is to not make it too complicated. We want it to be understandable by people. We would like, you know, the possibility of property owners being able to just add on to their places. The goal is, you know, to have that infill, not wholesale redevelopment like we may want in other areas of the city, but we don't want that here. We want more people coming in and investing in the area, but, trying to make sure that the property owners, the people who are already here have the ability to do what we want. So there's multiple pieces that have to come together from the regulatory standpoint, and we're at the beginning of that. This is a little tutorial in planning. There's a few different designations that a property has. One is called your future land use, and that's the designation that says how much you can do on your property. How many dwelling units can you have? Or if you're a non-residential property, how much floor area can you have based on the size of your property? The next piece is the zoning, and that's the nitty-gritty. That's what people are familiar with. Like I said, setbacks. How much parking do you have to require? How tall can your building be? Do you need buffers between commercial uses and non-commercial uses? Things like that. There's also just even bigger picture policy direction. So that's done through the city's comprehensive plan. So what we've done is start the policy side, because that takes the longest to get through all of the public hearings and process. What we will be doing is creating what's called an overlay district. So if you are already, have a residential zone, you'll stay in that same residential zone. If you have a commercial zone, you'll stay in that commercial zone, but there will be kind of this overlay, an additional opportunity for the property owners. And that's what it'll get shown in much nicer form than these red lines, but it shows up on maps as like hash marks, right? It just says, hey, there's something different here, but everything below is what's already there. We have to work within constraints of Florida statutes, and we can't make things more restrictive. We wouldn't necessarily have wanted to, but this helps us abide by those statutes too, because it's not that you have to do something different. It's if you want to do something different and utilize these new tools that we have, this is what you would follow. And so those new tools would be some additional development potential, like a density bonus. So I don't remember all the numbers exactly, but a little bit more density will help you get that second unit on a smaller lot, right? If your property is too small, you may only right now be able to build one unit where you want to. We've heard that two is considered compatible with certain design parameters, so we want to enable things like that. From a commercial standpoint, sometimes it just takes a little bit more floor area to make things map out. Mixed use, we're going to tweak some of the uses because it's much more difficult to do a mixed use project right now, because you have to do all the math and make it work, because you have to fit both the residential piece and the non-residential piece on that same piece of land. So it's usually very difficult and constrained mathematically, but it's what we want. So we're going to we're removing those hurdles. From the public hearings, you're going to start seeing things on City Council's agenda. Actually, the next step will be the Community Development Board, which is a board that makes a recommendation to City Council in a similar way that this group does. And we'll be presenting to them some of the policies that'll be changed in the city's comprehensive plan to create this overlay. And it'll be called a Planned Redevelopment District Overlay. So it'll have that structure, it'll show what those density bonuses would be, but it's still, again, at that higher level policy side. We'll also be taking forward the map amendment to the future land use map to apply this overlay, which is like this map here. You can't do anything with it until the other pieces come along, but procedurally, we have to take it to the Community Development Board. We have to go to City Council for a first reading. Then at this level, state agencies review it. It has to go to the Board of County Commissioners for approval. Then it has to come back to City Council for a second reading. So it is a many-month process, and we did not want to lose any more time than we already have. So we were feeling pretty comfortable about the policy side, knowing that we're still working on the details of the zoning, and that's what we'll see. We've been working on it. But that's what you'll hear from us about next. But if you see a public meeting notice and it talks about North Greenwood, a planned redevelopment overlay, that's what this piece is. Won't be any changes until everything's contingent upon everything else. So outreach, since we haven't seen y'all since September of last year, we're gonna beef up what we had intended, right? We had planned on just, get the code written and we come back out with the community, make sure at that time that, it would have followed just a few months behind, so everyone would have been fresh. We're gonna add a few more meetings, either virtually or maybe a couple in person. We're still hashing that out with our consultants, so we'll be getting those on calendars like early next year. There's no way to squeeze anything. No one wants one more thing on their calendars, I bet, this month. And that wouldn't be fair to anyone. It's not appropriate to do meetings during the holidays anyway. So January, February, we'll be getting the word out. We'll be getting those on calendars. We typically use a wide variety of methods, providing handouts. We can work with the coalition to provide handouts like we've done in the past. We put the changeable message board signs out for meetings. In the past, we've sent postcards. I think that's worked well. And since it's been a while, I think we would like to do that, send them out both to the property owner and to the address. Sometimes those are different people who own it versus who's living there. We want to include everyone as possible and invite them to come to that meeting. So we would be doing an overview of where we were and then what we've got, because we're not ready to take it to city council. We need to validate it. This is the group that needs to validate it. So we'll be coming through doing that, going back, making final changes to make sure that our language reflects what everyone wants. And then we'd be starting the public hearing process on that. And that would be, it's more consolidated. Everything still goes to multiple hearings. It goes to the Community Development Board and then the City Council. And the goal is that they all finish at the same time. So policy piece goes to the state, comes back to council. I just upset. Goes to the state, comes back to council, goes back to the state. Then it's done. The code and everything like that, while this is going on and all the bureaucrats are reviewing things, we'll be getting through everything with the community and then taking that straight to city council because they have the authority to approve that. And like I said, in the end, people will have options. It won't be mandatory. We can't make it mandatory. State statutes say that, like I said, because we want to have things like some design standards, nothing to make it too expensive to build, nothing to make it too crazy, but sometimes it's porches, a little bit more of that type of development where appropriate. Like we said, the mixing of uses, things like that, so giving people more options. And if you want the additional density, then you'd have to follow the new standards. If you want to build with what you're allowed to do now, you can continue to do that. So that is a lot, a little bit of a planning primer while also going over where we're at. I'm really excited to finally be getting momentum again on this. We had such great community output. We actually, in the interim, used your pictures and presented at a conference this summer about the outreach that we did here and got to break out all the pictures and things like that because it was such a fun time for me. I hope it was for those who were able to participate. So I can answer questions or whatever is appropriate.
Any questions from me?
I do.
Yes, Sam.
So once you go through this process, I'm just wondering sometimes, and I understand it goes from here, back there, back here, back there,
Yes.
over there, and all of that other stuff.
And then we party.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Right. But are there ever times when you have to, maybe you miss something that is there a way to revise some of those things after all of that ping pong? And probably not. Wanting to know if has that ever happened?
Oh,
in Canada?
I think at a very high level, I think, you're writing code, you're writing policy and everything like that, and you put it out there, and the first few projects are your test cases, and you hope that you got it right. If you get feedback from the community, which you usually do, the developers are going to tell you what they think pretty honestly, we can always revisit and make an amendment. The more difficult thing would be to amend the future land use piece. The piece that has to go to the state would still have to go to the state, but as long as those numbers are correct, we can tweak the other stuff. One thing I missed in all of that, what our consultants have been doing is where we left off with the code, they're now doing some test cases. So they're doing sample development on certain parcels that we've picked. We actually use some of the projects that have come through and double check. Because we're like, if these are projects being proposed, we want to make sure that we're not writing a code that can't support these projects, which would be horrible. So they're really trying to test like a parcel here and there kind of scattered throughout, so we get all different parcel sizes, residential, mixed use development, things like that also. But yes, amendments are just part of it. Or if things were to change, we're like, you know what, no one wants a porch anymore, as a really weird example. We could just make that optional, so to speak. Sorry.
Thank you.
So I do have a question. This is semi-related. Just gonna throw it out there. I don't know all there is to know on the topic, but I know there's been conversation around like the Live Local Act.
Yes.
And how that impacts zoning and usage and potential workarounds or whatever that looks like.
Sure.
Right. So maybe can you speak to some of that and how that might impact this, or maybe it might not impact it at all?
Well, so the Live Local Act allows for certain affordable housing projects to be built in certain zoning districts where it might not already be allowed. I'm going to say primarily the commercial zoning district, but there's a few others that qualify in the city. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. So commercial would be anything that's red on this map, so that makes it a little easier to see geographically. And it allows you to build to the highest density otherwise allowed in the city. So that happens to be our downtown residential density of 75 dwelling units per acre. So someone could hypothetically purchase some of these commercial properties and build at that. There's other provisions in there regarding the height. It's typically, at least as of the last, there were a couple of changes made this legislative session that I can't recall, but it was previously the maximum height within a 1 mile radius of the parcel. So we would map that and see where that is. If you're within 1 mile of downtown, you get some pretty substantial heights there. But you still have to fit everything. Just because it says you can do it doesn't mean you can do it physically on a site. So we've only had 2 Live Local projects come through anything at this point. But our efforts are hopefully to make things a little easier for people to do more with their property, so that's not their only option.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you.
And then we have a memo online that explains how the Live Local Act gets applied in the city of Clearwater, but it does not capture this most recent legislative session. We're still tweaking it for those changes.
Okay.
But if you were to go to myclearwater.com and search Live Local Act, it would pull it up.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Right.
Any other questions? Okay. So this item requires no motion. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll continue to provide information / ask to be invited back to the meetings going forward now that we're getting back to it.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So moving on to the next item on our agenda, CRA update.
Yes, so we do have a couple of updates for the committee. Monday we had a CRA meeting. There were a couple items that came forward at that meeting. One of them was for approval for the North Greenwood CRA Art Oasis mural. That was an item that came for you at your last meeting. Amber Bryce, the city's cultural affairs manager, presented that. And on Monday, she and I presented that to the CRA trustees for financial approval. They did approve the funding for that program. So very happy about that. We can start working with Janae Creeby, who's the consultant that Amber is working with. What I am just doing is getting the information out to both the board and the public that's here attending. If there are any commercial buildings within the North Greenwood CRA that would like a mural, or if the board knows of any of that could be great potential locations for a mural that would be paid by the CRA. If you could please give them my information or Amber's information, we would love to get the consultant out there with CRA staff to talk with them about this program. The next item that I have for you again is just to let you know about our North Greenwood residential and commercial grants that we offer. Those are still going strong. we have received over 40 applications that have gone through CRA staff for the North Greenwood Residential Grant Program. That program has been in for a little over a year, so the fact that staff has reviewed over 40 residential grants, and those are either have received funding, are approved, or are going through the process, for us, I think is a really great thing for the community. One of the other things that I'm very excited about is to introduce a new face to the CRA. Miss Marilyn Brown started with us 2 weeks ago. So she's been very fortunate. She's been her very first day, she got to attend a CRA trustee meeting. So I think that's a really great way to start and a great way for us to welcome her to the CRA. So I would like to just give her the floor for a couple of minutes to introduce herself and her background and just share about her.
Well, thank you to the team that has been so gracious in welcoming me in the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks has been filled with learning and absorbing a new topic to me. I'm a resident of this community for over 40 years. For the past 10 years, I've worked for St. Petersburg College as a business relationship manager, building relationship with business and ultimately trying to get our students to work. Better lives, better jobs, as some of you may know is the logo. But I look forward to serving our community in a totally different capacity. I look forward to helping.
Welcome.
Yes, so we are very excited to have her on board. She brings a skill set that both Jesus and myself are very excited, and we can't wait to get her out to the community to bring all those to life. The only other thing that I have for you, and I don't want to take away from Miss Marilyn's thunder if she was going to bring it up, was to talk about the amazing presentation that was brought forward between the St. Petersburg College and the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition. So that was a really great partnership that Audra Ahar, our economic development manager, brought forward, and so we're very grateful for what she was able to bring forward. So if your plans were to talk about that, then I will let you do that. I think
I'll just add to. How about that?
So St. Petersburg College, we were able to partner them with a nonprofit. They came to us, Dr. Andy Rojas, who is the College of Business at St. Petersburg College. He wanted to find a nonprofit within the community that maybe we knew that could use some resources, and so he put together a team of students that were going through, and we're able to really utilize their skills to help the coalitions come together and create a action plan, so to speak, for the shipping container, the Grove at 1105. So that was presented on Monday, so if anybody is interested in taking a look at that was presented at Monday's CRA meeting, so we can take a look at the presentation. Other than that, I do not have any other updates unless the board has questions for me.
You want to have questions, Trent? Well, I can say one thing. If I may, he wanted to go after his business in the downtown. We directed it from Pierre. He's going to operate Greenwood.
And we're very appreciative. I can jump in here.
Absolutely, go for it.
Chairs meeting.
And we're appreciative because the fact that what we're looking at doing with the getting your groove on at the Grove is the fact that we're going to be, it's going to be a place where we're going to have all of these businesses who are going to be housed there. So though this may not be just one individual business downtown, we've got 10 future businesses that are going to really benefit from the amazing information. They did some deep diving in this research that they did. It was just, and it was great. And I'm excited. And let me tell you, I always say it's important that business owners get a good start, because many times they have grand openings and grand closings within close proximity because they didn't get a good start. And so I think the information that they provided us not only just showed us that we were many of those things we were already there, so it was good as a confirmation, but areas where we may not have considered a couple of things, Love the guerrilla marketing. It was phenomenal. You all will hear more about that. Check it out on the website. But it was phenomenal, and just honored we were being able to receive that. And so just thank you, and the CRA. Thank you to Audra. Yes, and for you all allowing us that privilege to receive that amazing service. And those students were awesome too, by the way. And Ms. Glory to give them a nice plug for employment. Yes. Good deal. Great.
Awesome. Thank you, Ann. Appreciate the updates. So moving on to our last item, board members to be heard. Is there anything that anyone would like to bring forward?
Oh, did you go first?
I apologize for being tardy, but I don't know if you guys did introductions, but I'm brand new here and excited to be part of the community. I own a local business in the area, so happy to be part of the development. I love what's going on with the Grove. I checked it out. My business is all about fun, so I love that this looks really fun and want to help the community. And really looking forward to be a part of this team.
Can you tell us your name?
Oh, my name is Jason Corbin. That's right. I don't have a fancy one yet, but and my business is a golf cart dealership. So we do sales, service, and rentals. A lot of fun stuff, and you've probably seen them around town.
Awesome. Thank you.
I believe that's divine orchestration. We need some golf carts in this community. I love it. So, basically, I just want to, I'm just curious. Our downtown CRA, I know it's different than ours. Those dollars, are we able to utilize? We are not.
You are not, ma'am.
I'm
I'm very sorry.
I knew the answer. I just want to make sure you remember.
I know the answer.
So, just curious, just some of the things that we're looking at doing in the future, just looking at maybe some other processes. We know they have more money than they can spend, so we just started to make this.
Yes.
So, okay, all right then. So, other than that, just excited about where we are with this project. You can see we're getting closer. The summer is right around the corner. There's some upcoming dates that we're going to have with some of the business network, and we had our first session, and we were able to some of those potential tenants who are going to be in the container village were there, but we have some others coming up. But also too, about Sandy College, we know that for the first one we got some great publication. Bay News 9 came into the story. Miss Glory did a great historical background on how we got here, what's going on, and so people can see where we're going and all the good stuff. But yes,
I guess that's real. Is there a list of proposed businesses or anything out there? I didn't see that yet. But
no, it's not out there.
Okay.
It's not out there yet. However, after the presentation by the college students, we're really looking at some things that we may do differently because that composition of businesses needs to be something that will benefit the container, that will be sustainable, and so those things that will complement the effort of the whole, economic.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Sure. I'm done. You're done? Yeah. Anything? Nothing? Okay. So one thing I do want to bring forward, actually, there was that headline that I saw maybe an hour before right here this morning about multi-ward development, and that the city is, opening up proposals for the redevelopment of that property. Knowing that the property is within the CRA, I would like to know how can we make sure, to the best of our ability, that we are part of that conversation when developers cancel exit or wherever government's action.
Check the box, it'll be done. Hi, how's that? It's just the city manager. I made the presentation yesterday about this along with Lloyd Maxey. So we talked about what the next steps would be in terms of making the property available for redevelopment, positive reception from the council about a process involved in that. It'll be several months officially say, hey, this is a period of time we're going to accept proposals. So we love to use this forum as a way to generate interest in property and also use it as a way for you to know why projects or bring up an interest into the equation. So we're open to all ideas at this point. It's a big piece of property. It's going to make it
Right.
since we acquired in 2019. So we're not trying to move fast, but we do want to move well. We do want to move with some deliberateness, and we do want to help. We want to market it in a way that gets the best proposal. So more to come than that, but this is hot off the presses. It's like,
Yeah, like I said, I saw it come through.
but to your point, that's the type of top of mind is that we want to create
Right.
around the development opportunity. So we'll talk more about it along with a number of other projects that we're trying to do in the downtown area and Greenwood. So large presentation is timely. It's just you can't do the types of projects that you want to do without this on and flag sounds coming that way. And turn, I'll put it this way, you can do them, but they'll be different. By making the charges, it'll make the process easier. So you kind of need all of those things to work together. So we'll talk more about development specific projects, but those things would be very important to North Florida and every other project that has to come and put the new things into the area in terms of making it easier. So we do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Well, I'll make one more thing too.
Absolutely.
If you feel like you want to watch the meeting, get this online so you can watch the meetings Monday.
Okay.
Your reputations. If you would share the presentation with
Do that.
with the committee members, that'd be great as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Get the presentation. I'll send you a copy of the presentation as well as a link to the agenda item and the video for Monday.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, that is all that I had, and no one else has anything to bring forward. Sounds good to me. So we can move to adjournment. Oh, sorry. When is next meeting?
I'm actually in the process of putting together the calendar.
Okay. So is that something that we need to discuss now, or are you going to work?
No, so the policy states that it's the first Wednesday of each quarter month. So we just had a meeting. The next meeting, if we went quarterly, could be in March, unless the board feels that they want a meeting prior to then. We can always, as items come forward, specifically maybe Greenwood, North Ward, or even if Lauren has any more updates, we can always schedule a special meeting between now and then. The next meeting would be scheduled right now tentatively for March 4th.
Okay. All right. I think I'm good with March 4th. Does anyone have any objections? No. Then. So we'll move forward with that March 4th date, unless. But as you said, something comes up, that's what discussing it, but we can make sure that get there.
Yes.
Awesome, cool. Anything else? Am I missing anything? Not the day? All right, awesome. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned 6:33 p.m.
Back in.